We are also following some breaking news out of Maplewood right now. An hours-long standoff situation on McNamee Street near County Road BE is now over. We spoke with a Maplewood police sergeant just before 2:30 this morning. They told us it started as a domestic dispute and the suspect took their own life. The scene cleared within the last 7 hours. No one else was hurt. For more on these breaking stories, be sure to download our streaming app, KARE 11 Plus. Our Sunrise streaming show starts at 8 o'clock this morning. You can download the app for free and watch on your TV.
You're also waking up to a developing story in Cottage Grove right now. A school bus driver is facing charges this morning for allegedly showing up at Park High School drunk. We learned about these new details after many of you went to bed last night. According to an official with Cottage Grove PD, the 36-year-old bus driver was arrested yesterday for DUI just before his afternoon route. The school staff removed the bus keys and called the police once they were alerted to the situation. The driver is now facing charges of third-degree DUI and child endangerment.
This morning marks day 2 of a nationwide search for people charged with sexually assaulting a St. Cloud State student in her dorm room. It comes as we hear from St. Cloud State officials for the first time since this news broke.
This is happening and we need to address it. This is a job I wish that wasn't here. We have to face it straight on and say this isn't okay.
The Public Safety Department is staffed with dispatch and student officers 24 hours a day. They urge students to download the university's safety app.
I'm Mariah Katane. St. Cloud State University says it's committed to student safety after 2 students were charged in connection to a reported rape on campus in November. A nationwide search is now underway for the 2 men accused of sexually assaulting the student in her dorm room. The university confirms the 2 men were enrolled as students last fall but no longer attend the university. Stearns County has filed charges against 20-year-old Deepak Fayel and 19-year-old Sujan Tamang. Officials could not provide mugshots because they're not in custody, and police believe they've left the state. St. Cloud police say this was an isolated incident and it's an active investigation.
Time now 6:06. In just over 3 hours, one of the men arrested in connection to an assault on a local student athlete will be back in Hennepin County courts. According to the criminal complaint, the suspects attacked the Fridley player last month during a game at Cooper High School while he sat on the bench. The report says someone used a tire iron to hit the teen. In all, 5 people are facing charges.
The last 4 hours, we got a hold of a presentation being delivered at 9 this morning to the State Senate Finance Committee. It lays out the impacts of proposed federal cuts on people here in Minnesota. Now, a big piece of the budget blueprint proposed by the House GOP in D.C. is possible cuts to Medicaid. These are just some of the slides officials from the Minnesota Department of Management and Budget are going to present in about 3 hours. You can see Minnesota is going to get $11.2 billion in federal money in Medicaid and CHIP funds this fiscal year. That will cover 1.2 million Minnesotans per month. This represents 42% of children. Now, the proposed federal budget's heading to the Senate on Capitol Hill. We do need to update you this morning on a story developing right now in both St. Paul and in Minneapolis. Both are suing the Trump administration over threats to withhold federal funding if they don't comply with new immigration efforts. Both cities joining a lawsuit filed earlier this month. In St. Paul, the mayor says that Trump is illegally using federal money as leverage to force local law enforcement to act as federal agents. A Minneapolis spokesperson says its separation policy has been in place for more than 2 decades.
This morning, we have a better idea of what Governor Walz's political future could look like. Walz announced in the last 24 hours he will not run for Minnesota Senate next year and is exploring the possibility of another term as governor. By removing himself from the Senate race for Tina Smith's seat, the DFL primary for it is up for grabs. Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan has already announced her candidacy, while others like Representatives Angie Craig and Ilhan Omar say they're considering it. On the Republican side, Royce White, who lost to Amy Klobuchar last year, says he is running. That list is only expected to grow.
Well, the clock is ticking down on a midnight deadline for the owner of this car you see here in White Bear Lake. It's been there for more than a month now, gaining quite the following on social media. Audrey Russo's live at the lake this morning.
And Audrey, after talking with you in the morning meeting, this is not going to be cheap. It's going to take a lot of time and a lot of money to remove this car.
No, Jason, Alicia, certainly this is an expensive problem right now, and we've got about 18 hours until it becomes even more expensive. We're about an hour away from sunrise, so you can't really see exactly where it is out on the lake at this point, but in the next half hour we expect it to get a little bit lighter, so we can hopefully give you a slightly closer vantage point. But really, this all began around a month ago when the Ramsey County Sheriff's Office tells us it was first reported submerged. This was January 27th. Now, the driver of the car wasn't injured, but he was told he has 30 days to remove it from the lake. And after that, state law allows tow companies to charge anywhere from 2 times to 5 times as much as they normally charge in order to remove it from the lake. So we are now in that final crunch time, that final 24 hours. It feels a little bit like a Cinderella situation, clicking down the hours until that midnight deadline.
We're happy, Audrey, that the driver's okay. They got out just fine. But how much is this going to cost the owner if they do not get it out by midnight?
Yeah, I tried to tally the numbers. I looked up the cost of an average tow in Minnesota, and you're looking at a base price of anywhere from $75 to $125. So if you multiply the upper end of that range by 5 times, you're sitting at $625. Then you've got to add in the mileage fees for getting it to a repair shop. And of course, that's for an average tow. And I think pretty much everybody could look and see that White Bear Lake is not your average ditch. Jason, Alicia?
No, and this person's already out thousands. I mean, it's a total loss.
Yeah.
The cars are gone.
You pull it out and all you got is a soggy car and a bunch of regret. So we'll see what happens there. Audrey, thank you very much. Also, a good reminder, if you have ice houses in the southern 2/3 of the state, you have to have them off by midnight on Monday. So if you're up north, you have until March 17th. The DNR says if they're still there after that, they can be confiscated and destroyed. Time is running.